This is no, I don't. Yeah, right. No.
Everybody, this is an American school, so we're only 7 minutes late. Tonight we'll have two poets. You might say, if you include me in this, sometimes I do, we would have the old generation, the generation that's taken over from my generation, and the up-and-coming generation who will take over next. So, all three of us at once, and they're both better looking than I am. We have two poets tonight. First will be, I'll introduce them both right away. Betsy Bonner, who is been doing poetry things in New York. I'm running programs there, and we read her verse and liked it. And we've also, our students have reported very well on the seminar she's giving, and she'll give some more while she's here. And I thought it was time for her to come out of the closet and read her poems. And she's agreed to do that. And following her, we'll have somebody that if you've been here before, you have been here before too. And that will be Alicia Stallings, who's now justly recognized as one of America's best poets, and has several books out and new things in the works. And I don't have to say anything else about it because they're going to read. So, first, Betsy.
Thank you, Jeffrey. And I just wanted to say, I think anyone who's talked to me here knows how honored and happy I am to be at the Aegean Center this spring. And thank you all for coming. So I wanted to start with, I'm going to read 10 poems. No, I'm going to read 7 poems, 10 pages. And it's about 15 minutes total. And the first poem is not mine. It's by Richard Wilbur, and it's called The Writer. I've been thinking about this poem because for the seminar that I want to do with Jeffrey's writing students in a couple of weeks, this poem enacts the creative process. And it's one of my favorites. I consider it kind of a perfect poem. I don't know how many of you have heard it before, but here it is. The Writer. In her room at the prow of the house, where light breaks and the windows are tossed with linden, my daughter is writing a story. I pause in the stairwell, hearing from her shut door a commotion of typewriter keys, like a chain hauled over a gunwale. Young as she is, the stuff of her life is a great cargo, and some of it heavy. I wish her a lucky passage. But now it is she who pauses, as if to reject my thought and its easy figure. A stillness greatens, in which the whole house seems to be thinking. And then she is at it again, with a bunched clamor of strokes, and again is silent. I remember the dazed starling, which was trapped in that very room 2 years ago, how we stole in, lifted a sash, and retreated, not to affright it. And how, for a helpless hour, through the crack of the door, we watched the sleek, wild, dark, and iridescent creature batter against the brilliance, drop like a glove to the hard floor or desktop, and wait then, humped and bloody, for the wits to try it again. And how our spirits rose when, suddenly sure, it lifted off from a chair back, beating a smooth course for the right window and clearing the sill of the world. It is always a matter, my darling, of life or death, as I had forgotten. I wish what I wished you before, but harder. Richard Wilbur. And I actually really like that we have these birds, John. I know you're closing them.
Yeah.
The well,
okay, well,
are any of them starlings?
I'm certain of it. They're
yeah, I think they are.
Well, it was good sound effects.
It was. They were amazing. It sounds like your phone. You guys haven't heard his ringtones. Well,
it's a bird.
Then, before I I'm going to read a couple. I decided to go ahead and read some poems two poems that are not finished, but they're readable, because I've been writing them here. And before that, though, there was a text message that I got from a friend in Cyprus that I decided yesterday was a poem. It's about 12 lines, the way the little text messages are. And this is just, it's not mine, so it's text from Cyprus. Today I cut a red rose from my home garden in the occupied area. They saw me. They called the police. They arrested me. I spent 5 hours at the police headquarters. I agreed that it was my home. They let me free. I've been